And I would also like to add that this is not just another event that we are looking for followers or we are looking for viewers, but rather this is an event where the impact will be felt from now till generations to come. And with that said, I will also add and say, I am a product of some people who did not just ask, why do you dream or why things like that, but dreamt to change it. And with that, we use this event to give this to the rest of the world. Well, with that said, I also like to add that the speakers here are as diverse as the words or the cardinals of the earth I just mentioned. And they range from CEOs in the media industries, founders in production industries, and the list will go on, but I will keep it till that time. I have 5 minutes to do this, and I'm already losing my words in the first 1 minute. Okay, what is peace? Some people, you could ask Google, Google will give you definitions. You could check your dictionary, you'll find several definitions in there. But the truth of it all, from what I have learned and from what I keep on learning, is that it resides in every one of us. And when I say in every one of us, I'm not saying it's like an organ in your body or it's a part of your body or a heart in your body. I'm saying it's in every molecule and every cell of your body. And if no cell or molecule in your body is at peace, you wouldn't be. Neither would the ants or the trees or even the ocean or the skies, that would not be, because it is everywhere and it permeates us. I hear an echo. From me.
No reason.
Seda, can you please mute yourself? Seda?
Yeah, sorry. The host can turn the microphones off.
Thank you, Seda. And like I was saying, like peace is in every molecule and every cell of everything that ever existed and everything that will exist. But time and time again, because of the shuffle and the advancement in technology, society has been made to forget that it's the primordial and it's the primitive foundation of everything that exists. And that is why we at Impactleaders International, it's not just a mission with fancy words or key value goals. No, this is something that transcends us as individuals and also extend to every living thing on the planet and that we know of. While I know like these words might seem enigmatic to some of you, but I guarantee you after the 86 minutes of this session, you can sit down, think about it, and you will agree with me and come to my side of this table. With that said, I would like to introduce the keynote speaker of this book launch, which is Jessica Lockhart, and she's joining us all the way from Panama and Switzerland. I don't know how possible that is, but it's the 21st century. Anything is possible. Jessica, over to you.
Thank you so much, Visayo. I am actually in Panama right now, and the company I have is in Switzerland as well. That's why. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for this fantastic invitation to join you and talk about peace building, which I think is one of the key words in today's world. And because of what was just said, I would like to begin this presentation, this book launching, by going back to basics, because I think, well, there's something really important in the concept of peace building that I would like to present and discuss. So I'm going to try and share my screens. Let's see, I hope you're seeing now my slides, by first asking ourselves what peace really actually means. As was just said, there are many different definitions for peace. We can find many in dictionaries and in books, but one thing is very certain, that is that most human beings want peace. The immense majority of people in the world want to be at peace and want to enjoy peace. And having said that, we must also state that peace might be wanted at many different levels. Some people might want to be at peace with themselves. And if you have sometimes not been at peace with yourself, you know exactly what I mean. When we're not at peace with ourselves, there's this turmoil going on inside of us. And not being at peace with us usually is reflected in a world of non-peace outside of us as well. We want, or we might want to be at peace at home, that is in our immediate surroundings, with our people, with our family, with our friends. And it's fundamental that we are, because that is where our relationship with the rest of the world will stem for. In other relationships, if we have a partner, a husband, a wife, if we have close friends, that's the second bigger circle in our reality that we also need peace in. Then we expand it to our community, be it, you know, in a city, in a neighborhood, and then we expand it to the world. We might want to have world peace like everyone present here today in this fantastic book launch, because at the end, the peace that we're going to find in the world will revert into that peace with ourselves. If we are in a situation at war, for example, we will hardly find peace with ourselves, because the world surrounding us will move us, will push us to not be at peace. That's why we see that all the different levels of peace are intertwined and related. And that is why we have to start seeking peace ourselves. Peace could be lack of conflict, like we just said, there could be a war situation, or there could be a fight in the family going on, and that robs us from our peace. It could mean a state of being. When you ask people, so what does peace mean to you? To many people, it means being in a relaxed situation, being calm. But to others, it also means a goal to be reached because they're not at peace yet. So as we see, peace could have many different meanings depending on each human being. And that's why I said I was going to come back to basics, because we're talking about peace in general terms, but I want to be specific. I want to talk about peace for each human being. As we just said, peace means a lot of things to different people. And the key to the work that Dr. Hakima Saskia has been doing pivots or reveals or unveils around this concept that peace, meaning different things to everybody, has to be constructed, has to be built by each of those everybody's. And then we will realize that only my peace will work for me. We just saw that peace is needed at all different levels in life. But what we haven't said is that that peace has to be started from each of us. Peace building starts by each human being. And peace building usually starts by finding peace with ourselves. We go back to the first slide where we said there are different levels where we can find peace, and that is where we're going to have to start working. And once we start working on that inner peace with ourselves, we can start expanding it a little bit. Yes, it's true that sometimes peace is not something we can achieve just by working with ourselves because there are external circumstances. But unless we find that peace with ourselves, no matter what we do outside, that peace will not be ours. In order to pursue peace, there is something we need to do first, right? Which is to know what we mean by peace, to define what peace means to each of us. Because peace, being so multisensorial and being so different to each person, is sometimes a fuzzy idea for many people. They don't exactly know what it means to them to be at peace. When you ask them, so what does it take for you to be at peace? They say, well, yeah, maybe sitting down and having a cup of coffee. No, when we're talking about defining your peace, we're trying to go a little bit deeper. And what I would like to do now is to reflect upon the fact that peace begins with each of you by doing a little exercise. I didn't come here just to talk. No, I came here to make you all work and to realize that there are many little things we can do for that inner peace that expands to the world if we really take control of our actions. Are you willing to work? Would you like to devote a few minutes to defining what peace means to you? Okay, let's go for it. Okay, I want you to think for a minute and try and complete this sentence. I am at peace when, okay, what needs to happen in your environment? What needs to happen to you so you know you're at peace? What do you need to see? What do you need to feel? What do you need to hear? What do you need to do to know that you are at peace?
Jessica, you're muted.
Okay, yes, I was muted. Sorry for that. As I was saying, I am at peace when, so what needs to happen? Maybe some people say, I am at peace when I can sleep the whole night through. Okay, you wake up in the morning and you slept well, you feel at peace. I am at peace when I don't have any stress. Okay, I am at peace when I can smile from the inside out. I am at peace when I see no conflict around me. Okay, when we define what peace, what gives us peace, what we're actually doing is we're establishing our inner rules for peace. And let me go a little scientific here, okay? The brain, the human brain that governs so many of our actions, conscious and subconscious every day, is the one that will make sure that those rules for peace are met. The human brain reacts to certain triggers. And when we define our rules for something, whenever that something happens, our brain starts releasing chemicals that make us feel a certain way. So for example, oxytocin is one of those chemicals that make us feel loved and welcome. One of the most common triggers for oxytocin is receiving a hug, a loving hug. So if we went back to the previous exercise, I'm at peace when, we would say, I feel loved when somebody loves me or somebody hugs me. And then our brain would react to that trigger and release oxytocin to make us feel loved. Well, the same thing happens with this peace. All those triggers that we start accumulating in our brain are like little buttons, ping, that we push whenever we are living, and they release the chemicals that make us feel a certain way. Well, you wrote or you thought of a certain set of rules for your peace, but what happens if you only have one or two of those rules? Well, the likelihood of you feeling peace is very low, right? I was once working with an old man who came to me because he was feeling absolutely sad and miserable. He said, I'm terribly unhappy. And I said, well, let's work on that. And instead of trying to find the rules for peace for him, we tried to find the rules for happiness. And he told me, I know I'm happy when my son comes and visits. I'm happy when I receive a call from my grandchildren, or I'm happy when I receive a gift. And I asked him, okay, so when does your son come and visit? Oh, every Sunday. When do your grandchildren call you? About once a month. Okay, and when do you get gifts? On my birthday. I said, do you realize that by having just 3 rules, the probability of you feeling happy is extremely low every day? You will only feel happy at certain moments on Sundays, once in a while every month, and once a year because you get a gift for your birthday. What about giving yourself more rules for happiness? What about deciding, you know what? I'm also going to feel happy whenever somebody smiles at me or gives me a hug. I said, okay, so why don't you expand your list? Why don't you start thinking about things that give you peace? Really actually take a piece of paper and a pen and write them down. Write all those rules down. And the most important part is not just writing those rules, but really applying them. First, by writing the rules and creating those new triggers for yourself, you're going to be aware. And being aware and knowing is the first step into any progress, right? Then, second step, whenever you have a new rule, okay, now I'm going to feel at peace whenever I can sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee or a cup of tea without being bothered. Okay? Well, whenever you manage to do it, remember your new rule and celebrate it. You can celebrate it by doing a little dance like I did, by kissing yourself, by having a nice feeling. Why? Because that celebration, that emotion is going to strengthen that new belief, that new rule in your brain. The trigger will be enforced. Then, every so-and-so, check up your list, review your list. The rules that you have for yourself for feeling at peace might need to be checked up, depending on the life situation you're living. So if you're living in a country and you move to another country, you might have to review the list. And something else to finish with this is learn the rules of others. If you're living with some other people, it might be important to know what their rules for peace are. So you can compare the rules for peace, and by doing that, you might understand how to have greater peace in that relationship. These are the basic rules for peace. I wanted to make this a very short presentation, first because we don't have that much time, but also because I wanted to leave a little time for questions, just in case you may have some. This was just the basics, the very, very, very basics, and I wanted to start by giving you just a little bit of food for thought. Thank you very much for your attention. I will stop sharing now my slides and get back to you and give some time for you if you want to ask me some questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for expanding my definition of peace being in the monocules to actually expanding it to the entire globe itself and each individual. Thank you so much. With that said, our next speaker, though I am yet to meet her, but her practice of peace that she brings to the Sawera community in Pakistan and her work precedes her. And Nausea, please introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you so much, Piaso, for introducing me. I'm Nurja from Pakistan, a human rights and peace activist. We are working for women rights and child rights in Pakistan. I'm also from conflict zone, and what I have saw, maybe no other one can imagine what we have saw in our life during the conflict. So as Jessica also mentioned that what it comes to our mind when somebody is talking about peace. So definitely for everybody, it has different meanings. And for me, it means that when we are living without any conflict and when we are living with peace and with peaceful mind, so it means for me that peace is very, very important because only we can imagine and those who are suffering and who had suffered. So I'm also from the conflict zone and we just talked about peace, but why we didn't get peace, yeah? Because most of us and as individual or as a community, we always trust only on our government or some authorities that they will come and they will resolve our problems and they will finish the conflict. But no, I says that it's we as individual and we have our own power. So we can do and we can make our society peaceful and we can work with our community, we can work with ourselves. Like first we have to be peaceful by ourselves and yourself. We can make our family peaceful and we can make our community peaceful. So definitely then there will be no conflict or no other destruction at the community level because it's only the grassroots levels where the conflicts arise. It's not like the conflict or this reduction comes from ups, like it's from the bottom. So we have to work on the bottom level. So that's why I start working with the women from the conflict zone and with their children. And we are teaching to the women groups like how you can protect yourself and your children to be involved in the destructive activities like extremism and the other activities. So they are teaching to their children, and according to me, and maybe you are also agree with me, that the women are the most peaceful segment of this society and this world because they think positive and they think peacefully. So if we cannot make peace within ourselves, within our family and within our community, so how we can expect that we can make peace at global level? Because who make this globe? This we as an individual that are making the global peace or that can make the conflict. So let's start begin from yourself and from at individual level, And then we all together can make a peaceful world and a peaceful society and within our community, within yourself. So we have to work at individual level. That's why today we are together. And because we all are peace messenger and we are peace activists and we all are, peace builder. So from the platform of the impact leader and faces of change, I have also learned like how to ensure peace at community level and how we can work with our society at the community level. So I am thankful to faces of change and impact leaders and for guiding us to make it sure to have a peaceful society at the ground within the tribal zone and at the conflict zone. So yeah, so today we all are here and it's my pleasure that we can together work for the peace. And I'm sure that everyone wants to have a peace. And now it's the time that everybody is only talking about peace, but now we have to take step ahead for to take some action to make sure that yeah we can make peace at our community, at our household level, everywhere. So it's not just talking about peace. Let's do together something to take practical action. The entity or the UN bodies or everyone who are just talking about peace, please, I request them that come on ground and make it sure that, yeah, you are really working for peace. And we have to work for peace because those who are suffering, we have to work for them. Yeah, so that's why I'm grateful to see you all as a peace builder, and I'm sure that we will work together for peace building in our society and everywhere in the world. So thank you so much for listening and to sharing your ideas. And I hope that I will listen from all of you as well.
Thank you so much, Norzia. And if you're just joining or you joined us when Norzia said it has to be practical, since this video or this our event will be on forever till time, it will be a timeless it is a timeless launch of this book, so you can always go back to watch Jessica's 5 basic rules, or is it 4 rules of how you can apply peace, which is to know the rules, what makes you a peace, list them out, review the list, and also learn what makes other people at peace. And that is the practical way, I believe, will help you achieve your own personal and individual peace. And with that said, the next speaker is Hidayat, and he will recite to us a wonderful poem, which I've heard him recite before. I don't know if he's updated it, but I guarantee you at the end of it, you will not be thrilled, but you will be inspired. Hidayat.
Okay, thank you, Fisayo. Hi everyone. It's a privilege to be part of such an event, and thanks to Impact Leaders to train us and to organize that beautiful event. And we need peace within ourselves, and moving that beyond ourselves to the community, world, nature, and the universe. And I'm going to recite my poem called It's Hidden Within You. I'm going to recite first in English, then I'm going to recite in my mother tongue, Turkish. You are the physician, you are the patient. You are the apprentice, you are the craftsman. You are the silent one, you are the voice. All human beings are within you. You are the captain, you are the rudder. You are the ocean, you are the port. You are the pearl, you are the diver. The universe is within you. You are the wave coming up from the deep. You are the proof of humanity. You are the light, you are the shadow. Every era is hidden within you. Hidayat, you will long be spoken of. Sooner or later, you'll be 6 feet under. You are the traveler, you are the path. The Bible and the Quran are hidden within you. Now I'm going to recite in Turkish. Sende saklı. Hekim sensin, hasta sensin. Çırak sensin, usta sensin. Susan sensin, ses de sensin. Her bir insan sende saklı. Kaptan sensin, dümen sensin. Derya sensin, liman sensin. Gevher sensin, dalan sensin. Bütün evren sende saklı. Dipten gelen dalga sensin. İnsanlığa belge sensin. Işık sensin, gölge sensin. Bütün devran sende saklı. Hidayetim dilde sensin. Evvel, ahir, salda sensin. Yolcu sensin, yol da sensin. İncil, Kur'an sende saklı. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hidayat. By now, I'm sure if...
Oh, ¿cómo es? ¿Y eso qué?
I'm sure if you're joining us by now, you would have learned. If you haven't learned, I would like to review some of the... I would like to review some of the things that what you've missed if you're just joining us. First of all, Jessica shared with us a practical guide. Nausea told us about the work she's doing in Pakistan. And Hidayat just reminded us that the Quran, the Bible, the universe is within us. And just like there is a path and a sojourner, he also reminds us that it is within us. And I will hope that at any point in time, after you see or after this event, you feel out of peace or in conflict with yourself and others, always feel free to come back and rewatch this practical guide. And please do not forget Hidayat's words. With that said, I will call on Alanis, who is from Venezuela. While she will speak in Spanish, Saskia Akima will interpret what she's saying. So, Alanis and Saskia.
Thank you, Isayo.
Gracias, gracias. Un gusto estar acá y compartir con ustedes. De verdad que muchas gracias por la invitación. Para mí de mucha importancia como analista política y defensora de los derechos humanos, y aprecio muchísimo la labor que desde hace mucho tiempo viene adelantando Sakia en pro de la paz.
Voy a traducir al Inés. Says that it's really an honor and a pleasure to be part of this event. She's a political analyst and also human rights defender. And it's really a pleasure to be able to celebrate this very important publication, Become a Peacebuilder and Impact Leader, with all of you.
Realicé unas diapositivas donde resumidamente ellas van presentando las actividades que considero me apoyan para llevar un grano de paz en cada una de las organizaciones. Lo hago como una mujer pensante en la actividad que se realizó el 24 de mayo para conmemorar el liderazgo y la participación de las mujeres en los procesos de paz y la erradicación de la violencia, reivindicando la necesidad de reconocer el liderazgo de las mujeres en los procesos de paz y de desarme, no solo para evitar el estereotipo que se muestra como víctimas silenciosas y pasivas, sino como reales agentes de cambio y ejemplos para el despliegue de las nuevas generaciones de mujeres que enfrentan hoy un mundo convulsionado por el COVID-19, la pandemia de la violencia contra la mujer, la trata de mujeres, niñas y adolescentes y el tráfico de personas en el mundo.
The 24th of May, it was celebrated, the leadership and also the participation, and also it was a plea to involve more women in the process of peace and also in the stopping of domestic violence and violence in general. also recognizing the necessity of involvement of women in these peace processes, and also in the processes of disarmament where there are already conflicts. As real agents of change, also as an example and role model for new generations of women that are also facing now all the problems and the effects of COVID-19, which also in effect is because it has led to an enormous increase of domestic violence. So it has also increased violence against women, and also human trafficking of women, children, young women, and young and even young girls, and in general the traffic of humans in the world.
El papel de la mujer es vital. El papel de la mujer es vital en la prevención de los conflictos, en la consolidación de la paz y en la exigencia de protección de nuestros derechos, y rol fundamental en el reclamo por una vida libre de violencia para mujeres, niñas y adolescentes, así como construir la paz y acuerdos en los que se requiera la repatriación, el reasentamiento, la rehabilitación, la reintegración y la reconstrucción después de los conflictos en vías de solución pacífica, constitucionales y democráticas, a los graves problemas de países donde las mujeres desplegamos nuestro esfuerzo por la paz y la reconstrucción de las democracias en el mundo.
The role and the involvement of women is vital in the prevention of conflicts, and also in the consolidation of peace, and also in the enforcement of the protection of our human rights. It is a fundamental role, you could say, to reclaim our right to have a life which is free of violence against women, children and adolescents, but not only them, but also to construct and build peace, and also agreements in which it is possible for all those people that have had to leave their countries of origin because of war, that they are able to return in a safe way, and so that they can also be involved in the reconstruction of their broken societies. So there should be much bigger effort in trying to find solutions, peaceful solutions at a constitutional and also in a democratic level to the very serious problems that countries are facing. And Alinis is coming from Venezuela, and it's a country which is very seriously being affected by the effects of violence and war. So we have to, as women, she says, desplegar means to spread our wings. It's a beautiful way to express it. Spread our wings and our efforts to really start building strong fundaments of peace and also rebuild the democracies in the world. Alinis?
Para garantizar el derecho a la participación de las mujeres es necesario construir paz, y para tales objetivos se requiere que se mantenga un adecuado control sobre el respeto a los derechos humanos y se fomente la educación para la paz como parte esencial de la educación para los derechos. Las mujeres de hoy somos parte activa de movimientos que demandan cambios y transformaciones con acuerdos negociados que conduzcan a una paz más sostenible y el acceso a la justicia social. De allí que como punto focal es importante resaltar que la cultura de paz propicia que los conflictos no se resuelvan de manera violenta y que los acuerdos de paz que responden a las necesidades específicas de mujeres, niñas, adolescentes, hombres y niños contribuyen a una paz sostenible en el mundo. De verdad que agradecida y feliz, Sakia, por las actividades.
Déjame traducir primero
Sí,
y después puedes,
sí.
sí.
Sí.
To guarantee the participation of women in this process of peace, it is really necessary to build peace and work on peace building to realize these goals. And this also has to do that there have to be mechanisms that safeguard also that our fundamental human rights. And we have to also integrate it in our educational systems as a fundamental and important aspect that everyone has to be taught about. The importance of peace, but also the importance of our human rights. Women are very active in this respect, and also Ingun Bol is part of this event, who is founder of Female Wave of Change. They are form an active part of movements that are demanding also changes and transformations, and also you could say igniting and enforcing and trying to establish negotiations and agreements that will lead to a sustainable peace and will also lead to access to social justice. From there, that is a very important point, that we have to also emphasize that the culture of peace, if we develop a culture of peace, this is also fueling another way of resolving conflict and even trying to avoid these conflicts. That they will not be resolved with violence, because this is what we have come to see as legitimate, to intervene with violence also, but that we do that in a peaceful way, that we break the cycle of violence, and that in so doing we meet the necessity and the urgency and the needs of women, children, adolescents, men, and we contribute to sustainable peace in the world.
Gracias.
Puedes terminar
gracias.
ahora, si quieres.
Gracias, Sakia. Gracias por la traducción, por apoyarme, por la invitación y plenamente feliz por cada uno de los alcances que van realizando. Gracias a PIN y al equipo por profundizar el liderazgo de impacto, por inspirarme a profundizar el liderazgo de impacto en mi sociedad, en mis localidades y permitir llevar hoy este mensaje de paz desde América Latina a todos los países del mundo. Muchísimas gracias.
She's thanking everyone for the opportunity to be able to send out this message of peace. And also she was one of the people that we have trained through our Train the Trainer, and to also develop this insight, which this is an important aspect of our training, that peace starts with us. Muchísimas gracias, Alinis, de todo corazón. Muchísimas gracias.
Un abrazo, Sakia, un abrazo. Muchísimas gracias a ustedes por escucharme.
Pisayo.
Thank you so much, Alanis, and thank you so much, Saskia. And just like Alanis mentioned, that it is important that the peace should be preached or should be taught in schools, and when we are young, it's the reason why we have this event. Well, Jessica has told us a quick fix where you can always remember how to get your peace. We at Impactleaders International took a year to write this book that it's a practical guide and can be used at all levels. As long as a person can read, this book can be used at all levels to teach how every individual can achieve and be at peace with themselves, and also influence and impact our world. With that said, I would like to invite Sharon, who is from Zambia, and Sharon and I took the Impactleaders International training together. So we can say she's my colleague or my co-alumni. So Sharon, over to you. Sharon, you here? Hello, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Fisayo. Yes, I want to just thank you for the opportunity to be able to participate in this process at this level. I must say it is a wonderful level that we have reached as peace builders to be able to launch this particular book at this particular time. And I must say it's quite timely. And I would like to congratulate everyone who has participated in putting it all together. I'm also grateful for Karen, Saskia, and the team for creating a network of us peace builders and ensuring that we all have the same goal. So thank you so much, everyone. So my name's Sharon Chileshe. I am the National Director of Planned Governance Network, which has been working with women and youths in trying to get them to participate in governance and ensuring that they are empowered, they are gender sensitive, and also they participate in governance issues. So one of the issues that actually affects us a lot is our peace. The very fact that women face inequalities and these inequalities cause a lack of peace. We, as Planned Governance Network, have a great interest in peace, because when there is no equality, there is no peace. When there is no empowerment, there is no peace. When people are not participating in governance issues and they have no voice, then there is no peace. So our interest in this process has been greatly mainly to ensure that women, communities, and the youths have an equal say on what their needs are in society, and that they have equal opportunities to be able to contribute to changes in society. So one of the things that we managed to pick out from the training as Planned Governance Network, we had a participant from Monze. Monze is a rural-based district in Zambia. So the needs of the communities there are slightly different. There is challenges of water, there is challenges of road networks, and there is challenges of women participation in decision-making because of the patriarchy. So another issue there is patriarchy itself begins to cause a number of conflicts among women and men in communities in terms of participation in decision-making. So we felt quite strongly that the knowledge of peace should reach both rural-based levels as well as urban-based levels. So we learned a lot from the process, and we feel that information on participating in various networks and sharing information on peace will help us deal with the challenges of decision-making and patriarchy in rural-based levels. Another way that we have learned from the process of peace building is also in empowerment. The fact that we have women, youths, and communities that are vulnerable, and we're trying to ensure that they work together and form partnerships that move us forward. in terms of development that move us forward, in terms of collaborations and value addition. One of the things that we identified is working with the refugees. So we have even since identified a cooperative that's working closely with the refugees in Mayema camp, refugee camp in Solwezi, to be able to work with them, train the women in the camps, as well as work with those that are already farmers, to be able to grow what will be easily supplied. And what we identified is groundnuts as well as cassava. So in terms of cassava, there are networks near them that are able to buy the cassava in form of meal from them, or use them in particular factories. But also the peanut butter, we thought would be good value addition that can find its way into some shops. So we feel that community collaborations improve the levels of peace between refugees and the locals and community, and also contribute psychologically to the refugees, having been through so much violence and have come to this country seeking peace, is a way of empowering them, having them control over their lives, and having them have more control over their lives, having them have control over their incomes, would add to their level of inner peace. So we feel our projects are going to have a higher level of contribution to increasing peace from the train that we have had. And it's really a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to share this information, not just within Lusaka, which is the capital of Zambia, but also to other districts, to Monze, where we have presence, to Livingstone, where we have presence, and the new collaboration in Solwezi as well with the refugees. And we're hoping to expand further as we continue to collaborate more and more. We feel that other people that learned from this process and are able to share it in a similar way will ensure that not only is there inner peace to the people that participate in various projects that have more information, but also it builds a sense of ownership. Owning your rights and being able to exercise them creates not only an inner peace, but you're able to have better relationships with people around you. You're able to have better collaborations with other people and share projects that can include more people within communities and other organizations in terms of peace. So we want to just, as Planned Governance Network, we want to thank Peace Building Process. We want to thank Saskia, the team, PIM, for all the mentorship that brought us to a level where we can even plan a project that will impact women and youths in the community of Solwezi, as well as the refugees. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And I do allow me to commend the way you use technology right from your car, and you're talking on an international book launch of Impactleaders International. That is amazing. So with that said, before I go on and invite Saskia to tell us more about her book or our book, it is important I also add that, or say that I could tell you anything, or as a marketing savvy expert, I could tell you some beautiful things about the book, but that would not be true. But this one thing I know, the book was a dream a year ago, and today it's in physical form. Sharon shared her hope with us, but Saskia is living a dream that she dreamt a year ago. So I hope, with that said, my hope is that you understand that the peace we talk about is not the peace we hang in our rooms or on our doors or stickers on the back of our cars, but it's something that it's a daily, weekly, and monthly practice. I believe I've said a lot. So Saskia, tell us more about your book.
Thank you, Fisayo. First of all, I would like to thank all of you to be here part of this beautiful event. And I want the words that Hidayet said, the universe is within us. We can feel so small as individuals, so small at, you could say, the magnitude of what life is about or the world is about. And by making ourselves small, in a sense, we also make ourselves powerless. And somehow I feel that when it comes to peace, we've always felt that it's beyond our possibilities to contribute to it somehow. It's something that happens that is so big that we have no impact on it, we have no influence on it. But this is not true. And why is this? You have to know a little bit about me. I will keep it short, but I grew up in South America. I'm Dutch, but I grew up in South America, and I lived what it means to live in violence and unsafety. And not only, especially in the political sense, but later also I adopted my beautiful daughter. She comes from Colombia, which is one of the most dangerous countries of the world. And I saw also at a very personal level what it can do when you are the victim of violence, that it can even rob you of your most basic sense of safety, because it's often out of poverty that women and mothers have to take this impossible decision. So war and peace is something very personal to me, as it should be to all of us. We should all feel personally also not only responsible for creating peace in the world, but we should also see it as a personal offense that there is no peace in the world, that there is so much money that is being invested in an industry which only destroys things. It destroys whole nations and peoples and lives and neighborhoods and even memories of people. Nothing is left of them. I remember a story that someone told me about a massacre in his country of origin, Macedonia, and he said even the ants were massacred. So everything that lives is destroyed. So we should see that as a personal offense, and we should make it our personal mission to change that. And this is why we started a year ago with this wonderful team that we had this dream, we have to do something. COVID-19 only brought to the surface what was already dormant below the surface for us not to see. But it was there, and now we see it in all its ugliness. What it means that we live in a world where violence is somehow something that we have come to see as legitimate. And it's domestic violence, it's the violence in the family environment, it's between communities, it's between regions, it's between nations. But it starts with us. It starts with people taking the decision, I am not going to use violence. I'm going to try to reconcile differences. So this book is personal. It's very personal. So let's all make an effort to really break this cycle of violence. And let's all make an effort to work towards peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saskia. While we are both participating at this timeless and evergreen event, we might not be able to contemplate or imagine the impact of this, but I guarantee you, give it like a year, a month, this impact will be felt and you'll be proud that you're part of us. And you're free, even if you're not watching it now, I'm talking to you, maybe you come back to watch it. Feel free to share it with your friends, your family, because if your family members do not know peace or do not understand the importance of peace in their society, community, or in their nation, believe me, you will not enjoy it even if you can be at peace with yourself. So share it, buy the book, gift the book. With that said, I will hand it over to Jessica Lockhart, who will talk with our illustrious captains of industry of panels of speakers as they tell us how to build an economy of peace. That's a mouthful. So Jessica, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Visayo, for this kind introduction. Thank you, Saskia, first for having written this book and also for having us here. I think this is important work. Everyone, listen, pay attention, learn, and use it. Let me now introduce the panel. We're going to have a discussion on how we can start building an economy of peace. This panel has very, very interesting panelists who I'm sure will contribute with a lot of interesting tips and ideas that we can all use. Let me first mention who the panelists are going to be. We have Mireille Tulekima, the founder of Greatness Engineering Movement, Amir Sabirovich, founder of Digital Savages, Joseph Yomtov, the CEO of World Peace Tracts, and we're going to, I think we also had Patrick Bijou, maybe he's not here today, but in case he is, he's the UK ambassador of World Peace Tracts, and maybe Tani Dideron, who is the ISEC, who's a member of the ISEC Foundation in the Netherlands. Well, I welcome all of these panelists to join me now. And I'm going to first start by asking this general question. How can we start building an economy of peace? To the panelists, just take the mic, open it, and speak, please.
I will start. I'm Mireille Tulekima, based in Perth in Australia. And as you said, today I work on different projects, but today I'm here, you know, in my capacity as the founder of the Greatness Engineering Movement. So for me, it's all about greatness. And I know that greatness is linked to peace, because like, you know, a lot of, I mean, most of our speakers today said, it starts with us. So we can't actually have peace or a positive life if we don't have peace. We can't grow if we don't have peace. We can't give, you know, and give peace, you know, and help build peace if we don't have peace ourselves. And we have to create this environment where we can be in a state of self-actualization, because what really create those wars, those tension is mostly fear. People are in fear, people compete with each other, and it creates all this, you know, all those tension that can actually escalate to war. So for me, the first thing is to start with ourselves. And that's where the Greatness Engineering Movement focus on, is really making sure people become the best version of themselves, and they are happy with the life that they have, and they are happy with who they are. They know who they are, they know how they come across, and they understand that they are a piece of a puzzle. They have their place, and they're not competing with anybody. They're not here to fight with anybody. They're really where they should be, and then they complement, you know, people that are living on Earth or in their communities. So that's really when, you know, we can start to have, you know, to build peace, making people understand that, you know, they have to become the best version of themselves, be happy with who they are, and this happiness will translate into helping other people to become the best themselves and work together. And that's the first step. The second step is to look at the community level. You know, how do we communicate? How do we collaborate to have a common vision and a common, you know, cause, to be able to live together and to be able to grow together, and to really sustain, you know, this peace that we're all looking for. And how as well, you know, if we have people who are not you know, who are in war zone, how can, as a community, we can come together to make sure that we can help, you know, those people who need us, and those people who really, I mean, suffer and take the step. Because at the end of the day, and I know, Saskia reminded us, is that, you know, we're not powerful, we have power. So we have to step into our power. And if our power, you know, our power is not enough, we have to combine it with another powerful person, and then this power start to grow, and we can do something. So it's really something that we can work on as soon as we understand that we have this power and we can reach out to other power, then we can do something and build this economy of peace that we're talking about. And then the third level is really looking at the institution. How do we create, an environment, those institutions that are going to help us to create awareness at a very young age and everywhere, awareness everywhere, to be able to cultivate, this spirit of peace from a very young age, and monitor that, going forward. And I think that can be a very powerful, process to be able to build, this economy of peace that we're trying to build here.
Thank you so much. Sorry, thank you so much for those words, Mireille, those 3 levels that you just explained. I invite Amir or Joseph to add their own contribution to this panel. What would you add to what was just said?
I will take the stand. So first of all, I will start reasoning for myself, because if you want to change the world, you have to start changing yourself. So probably you don't know a lot about my background, but I come from a magical country that does not exist anymore. That's Yugoslavia. And I've left Yugoslavia at a very young age, but nevertheless, I experienced war. And what you see all around the world, that people that are warmongering never actually experienced war. Because if you have been in a war situation, then you will never want to experience that again. So giving that fact and experience that you had, you become very thankful and grateful for everything in life, and you become a very peaceful person, or so do I. And where does this unrest come from? Is actually not understanding yourself and your roots. So to be able to accept other people, you have to understand that we're all citizens of the world, and the only differentiation there is in the world is people can be good and people can be bad. There are no colors, there are no religions. It's very straightforward. And I think the most important message here is not starting with assumptions, but starting with asking questions from curiosity, why somebody has an opinion like she or he does. And from that, actually trying to understand where does this anger or where does this polarization come from, and trying to disarm that within conversation. So it all starts with the conversation of understanding, and then so for me, and I can take it from my example, of course, there are various groups in former Yugoslavia. You have the Serbs, you have the Bosnians, you have the Croats, and it's all tangents. As soon as the war was over and I had the possibility to get in touch with people from various sides, I did so, because I had no hate, and I think hate is the biggest burden that people carry. And we all have to understand that we're mere mortals and we cannot influence large conflicts, but we don't have to behave like other people are ordering us. So I have friends who I almost call family all over former Yugoslavia. There is no hate, there is no tension, there is nothing. And this is very important. So that would be from my side. Thank you very much, Jessica.
Thank you for that testimonial as well, and for sharing your story with us. That gives us a little background and understanding. Let's see if we can also hear from our third panelist. Yusuf, are you there? Can you share your opinion on this? Well, it looks like Joseph is not connected right now. Joseph, if not, I have another question that I'd like to ask the panelists. While Joseph connects,
can I also
yes,
say something about it.
of course, Saskia.
Okay, yeah, because it's, I think, important, this concept of economy of peace. Why this is very important for us. This means that we really want to make business of peace. So we want to take peace also out of the realm of charity or only humanitarian aid. We really want to develop a value proposition for peace, and this is also what the speakers have been sharing with us. that with the projects, they are working on value propositions for their communities. And so this is also what creates what we call social impact. So when we talk about making business of peace, we don't mean making money with it or making a profit, but working towards social impact and also social justice. So, but maybe also because I'm not sure Joseph is here, but also Adam is here. So I invite other people, if you want to say something to the questions that Jessica's going to pose, please feel free to do so. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Saskia. It's funny because your comment ties in very, very well with the next question I have for our panelists or any members of the group that want to contribute. And my question is as follows. Saskia also said a few minutes ago that there's this custom or this habit of creating destruction economies. And the world became a smaller place. After the internet was created, the globalization happened, we get closer to one another, and having this smaller world hasn't stopped the country from having different speeds in economies. We have countries that have faster economies than others, better economies than others, and still we haven't been able to have one single speed in the economic world. So my question is, if we have all these different speeds, all these different economies, how can we find a common peace? Should therefore peace be localized, or can we try and achieve a world economy of peace? What would your thoughts be on this? Is it a world economy of peace, or is it a local economy of peace? Who would like to take this question?
I think it's a local economy of peace. And the reason for that is that actually conflict is embedded into history of mankind. And if you want to change that, you need to do it fundamentally. And I think as long as there are people who have waged wars against other nations and other people, so we need few generations of peace and peace builders before we can get to economy of peace worldwide. But the only way to do so is to start with that what you can have impact on in your immediate area, so local, and try to spread it towards the roots where you come from and the shared knowledge, and hope that actually this will have, like, it will grow organically towards peace in those regions or your immediate area. So that would be my take for this.
Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to add their thoughts to this question?
I also think it's about a ripple effect. So you start small, which is, at the cellular level. So start to impact people around you, start with yourself, like I said, and then your community, and then this ripple effect will go on to the global the global scale, because I mean, as you can imagine, the world is so big. So if you really want to tackle something that is big like that, it can be more challenging than starting small and then, implementing the key structure to have, this some key people that are going to build this, this community, this social environment for peace, and then get, to the next level and really focusing on what we can, what we have impact on, because whatever we do, if, we can't change it, it becomes really a challenge. So it's really important to start first small and then grow grow. And I think we can do something about it, but it might take a lot of time. I think then we need to work on the timing, but that's, I think, the process that would really, help to do something and to impact, the people and their lives to be able to fight this challenge.
Thank you so much, Mireille, also for your contribution. Anybody else would like to add their own thoughts to this, to the concept of peace or individual peace? Yes?
Yes, my name is Basil from Tanzania, and I'm the director of the New Hope Day Care. Concerning about the topic, first I would like to thank all the members of the panel, as well as Mrs. Saskia, who is invited me to this beautiful meeting. Yeah, as you say that you talk much about peace, but I think I'll go a little bit further. How peace is destroyed. You know, we as a community and the entire world at large, we should have to see how does peace being destroyed. I see most of the one member said that peace is with ourselves, is at home, is in a relationship, and is in the world at large. So how can we conserve the peace? How do we lose the peace? Because originally it seems that the world is full of peace, but due to different competition, like the resources, the lack of the resources, the rich people and the poor people, this is where we can see people are struggling. You know, this is where we see how peace is disappearing into our hands. So we as the panel member, first of all, I would like to thank all the people who are participating in this dialogue, but peace is something big. Make an example, like in the community I live, for example, I'm caring the kids who are coming from the vulnerable communities. So through this, I learn a lot of things. Kids are under very high pressure of getting food, of seeing how they will be growing. So this topic, we should have to go very much deep on how we can conserve the peace in the world at large. We see a different civil wars, we see the different wars in the world. So I think, on my opinion, peace is something we can preserve from the beginning of a child. We should have to learn them how to make peace, how to love each other, and how to grow well in a community. You know, nowadays, these little children, they are not being growing up with the different guys in the community. It is the only family who are responsible for their own children. So we should have to protect our community. So my opinion is, we as the communities, as the family level, as in the relationship, or married guys, we should have to make sure that peace is something within us. Thank you, members.
Thank you so much for that contribution. I agree with you. We are building an economy of peace from the bottom up instead of from the top down. It cannot be imposed. It has to be established from the bottom up, which I think is something that the four people who contributed to this panel somehow expressed. It is true that we have to start going from the bottom up, and we have to start spreading that peace in our immediate environment first, to then make this economy of peace spread. And like Saskia said, it's not an economy of money. That paradigm needs to change. We have to start creating new economy models in the world. With this, we are running out of time for the panel, but I would like to thank everyone who expressed their opinion. And I would like to invite another group of incredible people to join me now here on the virtual stage to address our audience and give us a few words on this very, very important topic that Saskia wrote about, peace building. I would like to invite all the peace builders to join us. I would like to invite Karin Belger, I hope I pronounce all the names properly, Sadet Ozdemir, Pim de Box, Shumaila Khan, Fisayo Lajide, and of course, our dear Dr. Saskia Harkema. I would like to invite you all to give us your insights, to give us a few words on this incredible topic before we close today's session. So please, why don't we start with Sadet? Sadet, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It gives me a great pleasure and great honor to be part of a group called Impactleaders International. Not only it builds peace within ourselves, but we try, what we have been doing is trying to transcend that right across the borders. And looking at the past question, we live in a society, and especially in the Western world, we don't even know who our neighbor is. For us to build peace, we need to, and I agree with all the guest speakers today, that we need to start locally. We need to start protecting the social fabrics of our society. Now, more than ever, with this COVID-19, when the global is talking about the same social distancing, we need to be able to connect, communicate, develop, and then start building peace, and that'll build peaceful economies.
Thank you so much, Sadet, for your kind words. Pim, would you like to take the floor next?
Thank you.
Pim.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was muted. Well, first of all, I'm mighty proud that so many people joined us for this joyous event. And the fun thing is, the fun fact, I just received the books. So it happened while we had this this live book launch, so it couldn't be better this day. And I want to share with one thought that let's say triggered my participation in this program. That's basically we have to. I'm a businessman and for let's say 35 years already, and set up companies and organizations. And only let's say in the past 10 years, you start to realize that what we do as people, as business people, as companies, although you do it with the best intentions, you're at the other end, you're also exploiting nature, you're exploiting people without thinking what you're leaving behind. There is somewhere a call on us to really rethink this and develop organizations, businesses that do not destroy, but that create a peaceful, or that contribute to a peaceful society. Peace not just for people, but also for nature. And so I think that idea of having a positive impact in the world is really something we can work on together, should work on together. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Pim, for those words. And I'm really happy you got the books today. Right now, while we're talking, I'm sure many of our viewers are already ordering their copy. If you're not, go ahead and do it now. So let's move on. I would like to invite Karin Belcher to join us now if possible. Karin, please, would you address our audience?
Yes, what I'd like to say that this book is really a call to action, and I'm very, very proud the book is there and the training is there, and we all contributed from our own expertise. And well, I'm the empowerment leader of Impactleaders, and I tell my people, peace starts always in your mind, also by dreaming a better future. And as humankind, we are very creative. So use this creativity to create a world where we want to live in rather than we're suffering in. And well, I also want to thank Pim, Sadet, Saskia, Shumaila, Fisayo of bringing this book together, and all our participants and followers, because we learned so much from the people from grassroots level, because there it starts. Thank you.
Thank you, Karin. And yes, I totally agree with you. Every piece is made in the mind, but then it's made by each of us in every aspect of our lives. Could I please invite Fisayo, who has been presenting the event today, to address us with some final words?
Thank you so much, Jessica. And thank you to every viewer, every member of the panel and speakers. And also thank you to Saskia. And I would also like to thank you again, Jessica, for being or teaching me or being a model of how to kind of moderate. I just learned a lot from you, so thank you. With that said, my work with impact leaders is more, I wouldn't say personal, but it's from my heart. It's from, I cannot not be part of it. I know that's a double negative, but because to me, I've observed that once, like kids, once you go into school or you're growing up, society, persons, they place symptoms of success or goodness and forget the foundation or the pillars required to build those foundations. And just like Marilla said, like it's stepping into our power and in three phases, like you, personally, society, and nationally. And I'm with impact leaders because I believe it's important we all learn that the peace starts within us. And I want to give that to every person close around me or anybody in my immediate circle, network of reference, these English words. But that's that for me. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you, Fisayo. Thanks a lot. We're going to give the floor now to Shmaila Khan. Shmaila, are you there, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today. Peace for me was always very important and it values me a lot. And it's because I'm from the conflict territory and the women like me who have a background where there is ongoing war, who have witnessed the violence. Peace is always being very important and also a difficult goal to achieve. So like I've been always looking forward for a team where I can really work on peace building. And we have also called it the street level peace building, where we do believe, where we do believe that the peace starts within ourselves, then among the societies, and then the worldwide. And with this project and with this book, we have really tried and we try to achieve some of the goals. And I hope you guys will enjoy while reading the book. And it's also very good for all the trainers who really want to work in the peace building domain. And yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shmaila. Thank you so much. I agree with you. And I was going to say, before giving the floor to our hostess today and to the fantastic Dr. Saskia Harkema, I was going to say that this should be compulsory reading in many institutions, organizations, and companies in the world. I had the pleasure of going through the book, and it is a practical handbook that it can be used to really start building peace, which is what we're talking about. If we want peace in the world, as somebody wrote in the comments right now, we need to take action. We know how to do it now because Saskia taught us in her fantastic book. Let's start putting our hands into action. Saskia, the author of this book, will you please address us? Saskia?
Saskia.
Yes, sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much, Jessica. Today is the beginning, as far as I'm concerned. This is the start. We wrote this book together because we want to transfer our knowledge and our wisdom and everything that we know, so that we can, in that sense, create a snowball effect. So all the people that we're working with, they become trainers themselves, and some of them are also here. So it doesn't depend on us, because this is how we can create critical mass. And the movement is about critical mass, because don't be mistaken, we are very serious, very dedicated. This is like kind of also a very pragmatic approach that we are choosing. we will make it happen, because it is about critical mass. It is about creating a movement. So this is the start. We will be creating a community, an online community. I saw Isaac is already here. And yes, we want you to join us, and we want you to read our book and use that book as a means to work within your communities. Because that's the whole idea, that you start working with your communities and they start working with their communities. And now we are working with a wonderful community, the Alevite community. Sultan is here, and Hidayet shared his beautiful poem, and they're teaching us all so much, because we are also learning. Teaching is learning from each other, and by learning, we grow also our wisdom. So I want to end with a it's always inspired me. Ben Okri, he's very beautiful poet among others. He said, our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I think we should start living by that. We are powerful beyond measure. We should start believing it. We should start living it. We should start walking it. We should start doing it. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting us. And I hope to see you soon. We will be organizing a Peace and Impact talk around World Refugee Day, the 20th of June. So this is, as I said, this is the start. You will be hearing more from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. And also, don't forget, thank you, Jessica, for being yourself in a great way. And Visayo, such great moderation. You see, if we work together, you know, we get really good impact. This is the way forward.
And thank you, Pim.
See you next time.
Till we meet again. Till we meet again.
Yeah, till we meet again.
Yes.
Bye.
Until we meet again. Stronger together. Peace starts with us.
Yes, it does.
Bye. Let's
Bye,
spread
everyone.
it around the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mireia. Thank you, Hidayet. Thank you, Jessica.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Amir.
Wonderful work, everyone.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Daria. Thank you, Zaina. Thank you, Sultan. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Alinis.
Hidayet.
Muchísimas gracias, Alinis.
Ay, gracias, Saki, a ti. Muy emotiva toda la actividad, muy emotivo, todas las palabras, todo lo que pude leer. Estás en todos los corazones, Sakia.
Sí, igualmente. Gracias, Viola, también.
Chao.
Gracias. Adiós. See you next
Bye.
time. Thank you for all.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Adios.
Everyone.
Adios.
Adios.
Gracias.
You're welcome all to Tanzania.
Jakshamlak.
Welcome to Tanzania, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.